everyone, this is Intuitive Edge. Welcome to my channel. This is where we take an intuitive look at what's going on in our world. So let's take a look at our week ahead this week for the end of October heading into November. So this week for the United States, what will be dominating the news this week? Okay, politics, what's going to be going on there? We've got the High Priestess. This is the card of wisdom and intuition, inner knowing. So there may be some breaking through the veil of knowledge and seeing into kind of the inner wisdom and inner truth of things. There may be getting to the bottom of things or learning what's going on behind and underneath and kind of seeing the wisdom. In other news this week, we've got the Floating Cat, the Hanged Man. This is a card about giving something up and gaining something through giving something up or giving something away. It's gaining through sacrifice of something. So what are we giving up to gain this week? That's going to be in other news. Giving something up. What is being revealed? I've got the Two of Sky. The Two of Sky. Two of Swords. This is a card of having to make tough choices or being a little bit in denial about something, wanting to have the walls up and the blinders on. And with this powerful card, this is bringing that to the forefront under the question of what's being revealed. Perhaps this is being a heavy rebuilding, a rebranding of ourselves. This is looking at what am I being blind to and not seeing about myself. This is having to look at yourself a little bit. Interesting, we have that coming out and being revealed. What blind spots do we have? What do we not want to look at and not want to see? And that's going to be coming out. So be ready for that. There may be things coming out in the news that might be uncomfortable. Things we don't want to look at, don't want to acknowledge, don't want to see. And yet it needs to be seen. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be, it feels like when you have a wound that's festering, you can't just say, oh, I don't want to deal with it. You have to deal with it. Otherwise, it's not going to heal. It's not going to get better. Okay. Little tough energy on that one. Okay, next. What energy is leaving? What's going to be heading into the past? Now, this is kind of nice. I just got the word, the nightmare is over. We have the card of the nightmare. It came in reversed. And this is in what's leaving. So the nightmare card reversed, it can be an amplification of things that are scary, but you don't have all the pieces together to know really what's fiction and what's true, what's reality and what's the nightmare. But that a little bit of ambiguity with that fear and anxiety that comes along with it is heading into the past. So perhaps, going back to this card, as what's being revealed is having to take the blinders off, the nightmare scenario is able to be released and let go. That's kind of cool. What is the lesson to learn this week? Alrighty, now we have the moon reversed. We've seen this before a few times. This card came in reversed. The moon is about the veil, the illusion. What are we looking at that we're not seeing clearly because of maybe personal biases? Maybe we've had the blinders on, haven't wanted to look at something. And this is saying, this is bordering on deception when it's reversed. Being self-deceived, self-deluded. Now this is the lesson to learn this week. So boy, oh boy, this might be a power-packed week where we're being faced with things we don't want to look at, having to release and let go of the nightmare, the ugly scenario we may have painted, things that may be difficult, that cause anxiety, and being faced with delusion or deception, and that being the lesson this week. So this week might be really tough for some people in having to deal with those energies. The hardest thing to do sometimes is to face ourselves, face our blind spots, having to admit we're wrong, because that's always hard. People don't want to admit they're wrong when they're wrong. It's tough. Now, the outcome for this week is the 9 of Fire. The 9 of Fire. This, I love the artwork on this. These cats are meeting around a table and they're conspiring together. But the outcome is, it's also a card of having to wait for something or kind of put things on hold to kind of regroup a little bit and see where things are going before you make your next move. It's kind of planning a little, strategizing. So maybe that's a good thing after all of this kind of energy of having to face some unpleasant truths this week. Might be time to kind of regroup and reassess. Maybe relook at things and not just take things for granted. And it might be kind of tough. You might have to kind of change the way you look at things this week. That could be tough for some people. If you know somebody that's having a tough time having to face some truths that come out, maybe you can kind of help them out a little bit. If you maybe have a little better picture of what's going on in the world, maybe help the people that are struggling with the truths that are coming out this week, okay? Now, underneath all of this, I have the Sky King, King of Swords reversed. This is, King of Swords is a very strong card. A trustworthy, truthful person, but when it's reversed, which it is here, it can be dishonesty, not being on the up and up, not being forthcoming and truthful. So I think underneath all of this week is the element of dishonesty and untruthfulness, okay? And that may be what we have to see and witness and look at, or maybe people in the news that have been dishonest and deceitful and untruthful. And we've got that reversed moon again. On the lesson is knowing when you're being deceived and knowing when someone's being dishonest. And that can be hard to look at too, especially if you trust someone and find out they've been lying to you the whole time. That can be a hard pill to swallow too. So people don't like to admit when they're wrong, and they also don't like to admit when they've been duped. And there may be a lot of that going on this week, maybe all of it. So be helpful to those if you know what's going on and you see this happening and other people are having trouble, help them out. But again, it looks like the card of intuition and wisdom is going to be playing bigly this week. All right, so that's all I have for this. It might be an interesting week ahead. We'll see what plays out. I hope you all are doing well. And we'll catch you next time. This has been Intuitive Edge. Have a great week. Bye for now.